Okay, hey everybody, welcome to an exciting session on DeFi, the future of finance. So, in this session, we'll be exploring this revolutionary domain which can unlock immense amount of financial independence and innovation, etc. So, this session will equip you all with the knowledge and insights about this emerging domain, and it'll help you explore this financial and technological landscape in a better way and enable you to understand and also possibly contribute to also thrive in this field. So I'm thrilled to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Uttam Singh. Welcome, Uttam,
Hey, thank you so
and
much,
thank you for being
Sushant,
with us
for
here.
inviting.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he's currently at work, and he has extensive experience in the Web3 space. And he has been educating and enriching the community with content creation and public speaking for a while now, and in various prestigious conferences like NFT NYC and several ETH global events. And yeah, which makes him
Uh, Hello. Hey, hi, Sushant. Am I audible properly? Just checking. Okay, cool. I hope I'm audible. If not, just let me know. So, hey, hi, everyone. I'm Uttam Singh, and I will introduce myself in the next slide, I guess. But this session is going to be amazing. So, this session is more about introduction to DeFi. So, DeFi is uh, decentralized finance. Okay, so decentralized finance is basically how the future of finance will look like. Right now we have finance that is controlled by a central organization, right? And we're there now with, along with the blockchain technology that introduces the Web3 world. We have this specific application that is decentralized finance. In this session we will go through what is decentralized finance, what actually is that, if there are some buzzwords that we will discuss. And meanwhile, if you also have any questions, I'm there to support you. And also, if you are a developer, if you want to code, how can you build these DeFi applications? And if you are even not a coder, if you want to just get involved with DeFi, you try to use it, you can be able to use it after this session. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, just let me know. Right, so let's not waste time and let's get started with our session. Cool. So, uh, can someone change the slide? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So there is a problem with the slide, so bear on with me. Cool. So about me, I'm Uttam Singh. I'm working as a developer relations at Flare. Flare is a EVM layer one blockchain, right? Other than that, before that I was with Polygon. I was working there. I joined them as an engineering in the product intern, and I joined them full time as a developer relations. And after that, I also went to research intern at University de Montreal. I was there for like 3 months. It was sponsored by the government of Canada, right? So I was there for almost 3 months, doing my research on a blockchain project, right? And after that, I'm also a Web3 and blockchain educator, so I try to, create content around LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube recently, right? So you can check out my content on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, and you can keep following me. You can message me if you have any particular doubt. I've been creating good technical content these days. Some courses that you can watch, that will be helpful to you. Other than that, I have been a public speaker as well. I've gone to many conferences. Most of the famous are NFT NYC. I recently went in April. It was one of the biggest NFT conference in the world. And then we have ETHCC incoming in July in Paris. So that is also one of the most famous developer event in the Web3 community. Then ETH Milano and other sessions as well, other conferences as well. I've also been to good colleges like IIT Goa and several other colleges. So I love to teach people and educate people about blockchain, Web3, and stuff. As I said, I'm also a content creator, so you can check my work on Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. You can message me there if you have any doubt. Even after the sessions, if you have any doubts, just ping me, and I hope my content will be able to help you even after this session as well. You can keep watching that. Cool. Yeah. So let's start with the finance that we already have, right? What is the traditional finance? So centralized finances provide these financial services. So financial services basically all these banks, whatever you have to deal with the finance, like with your money, right? So we right now have this traditional finance that is controlled by a central authority, maybe central authority and a group of them like banks and then RBI and all that stuff in India, right? And RBI, and there are other some stuff that are also centralized in every country. I guess the finance system is centralized, right? So and right now the problem, I guess we will discuss more about the problem along with learning about traditional finance, is that all these financial organizations, they hold all of your funds and assets, right? So if you have money, all your money, most of the people have their money in their bank account, and what their bank account, like all their money is in the bank account, and these bank accounts are the holder of your money, right? So if they want, they can freeze assets. Obviously there will be a reason, but they have the authority that they can freeze all your assets, right? So that is one of the reason why we need decentralized finance, right? So, and I guess most of you must have watched the web series that is very famous, the Scam 1992 one, right? So what happened during that? Like, what was the story behind that? That a middle all the people, like the Aam Aadmi people of India, they did a lot of hard work, and then they submitted all their money by trusting a bank that, hey, this bank will keep my money safe, right, in a bank account, right? But what happened that without doing any research, the bank gave a loan to a person, and then that person was unable to repay the loan, and because of that, the financial system, there was a lot of problem, people lost their money, right? So this is a major problem. These are basically major problem with decentralized, like the traditional finance system that have. Also, this traditional finance also act as an intermediary for at any transaction. So for example, if I want to send someone some money, right? So for example, A to B, right? So there will be a intermediate organization, that is these organizations, whenever I send a transaction, so they are keeping track of all of my transaction, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm not doing. And then they can also take fees as well. Like for example, if you right now want to send money to another country, or maybe you want to bring money from another country to India, right? So in that case also, they take a huge amount of charge just for transferring that money from border to border, right? And also there are strict compiling rules, like the KYC, AML. I know, I mean, these things are important. I mean, I'm not saying that these things are totally unlawful, because definitely there are some terrorism activity that needs to control, but it gives an unnecessary rights to central organization, which is not good for future as well, right? And again, there are some other problem as well. The customer has no privacy to the service provider. Like service provider knows all the real identity, who you are, and all the information, like full account, transaction history, whatever, like until the date, all the transaction that you have done is I mean, these finance organization, all these organizations know that, right? And so you need to be, you need to trust these organizations. So there has to be some amount of level of trust to these organization, and without that, I mean, you can't just without trusting an organization, you can't just give all your money to them. Okay, so now we have an additional what to say, an invention as well, right? So uh, one thing obviously is the reason, like whenever there is a problem there will be a solution, right? So every time there is a problem there will be definitely a solution. So one of the person called Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is, we just know his name, right? This guy gave a rise to a technology basically, and also a cryptocurrency. As we know, it's Bitcoin, right? So this guy published a paper on Bitcoin telling that how a decentralized money can be created, decentralized currency can be created with no authority of any organization controlling all that money, right? So you can still go and check. So this is how the this is was the starting of the Web3 world, as we you have must have heard of Web3 these days. So this Bitcoin paper is actually the starting of the Web3 world. If this wouldn't be there, there will be no Bitcoin. I mean, there will be no blockchain or Web3 or DeFi, right? So this paper, this is also right now also present on the internet. So if you go to the internet, you search for Bitcoin white paper, then you will able to find this white paper, and most of the people start their journey with with Web3 and crypto and decentralized finance by reading this white paper. So if you are interested, you can go and check out this white paper as well, right? So this is how the starting of the DeFi system basically took place. But there was a problem with the Bitcoin as well. We will discuss that as well. Okay, so the change of slide. Yeah. So the problem with Bitcoin was that it was so most of the people don't know that Bitcoin is actually the blockchain as well, and Bitcoin is also the currency as well, right? And on the Ethereum side, if you've heard of, Ethereum is the blockchain and the Ether is the cryptocurrency, right? So this is a very good difference that everyone should be aware of, that Ether is a cryptocurrency, Ethereum is the blockchain, and the Bitcoin case, the Bitcoin is also the cryptocurrency and also the blockchain itself, right? So the problem with Bitcoin was that it was non-programmable blockchain, which means you can't put your program. So for example, you have some kind of idea, you have some kind of logic, right? But the problem was you can't just code that logic and put it on the Bitcoin chain, right? Bitcoin was, there was some rules that how it will work, there will be some nodes. Obviously it was decentralized, right? But there was a problem that it was it was non-programmable, right? So you can't put your logic, your code inside the blockchain itself, right? And then there was a rise of Ethereum, right? So what Ethereum did was, Ethereum was a programmable blockchain, which means that if you have any thoughts, if you have any logic, if you have any idea, you can even put the code on the blockchain itself, right? So rather than just all this code being executed outside the world, you can actually execute this code onto the top of the blockchain, and this blockchain is definitely decentralized, right? We will not talk more about what is blockchain in this session, but I hope you are aware of little bit of what blockchain is. Blockchain is decentralized, distributed, and peer-to-peer immutable ledger system which is secure, right? So the Ethereum gave rise to smart contract platforms. All the code that you write and that you can execute and that you can deploy on the blockchain are known as the smart contracts, and these smart contracts are actually going to control the future finance, right? So basically, rather than giving a control to an organization, you are giving a control to the smart contracts. The code, I guess the person can be wrong, right? But the code can't be wrong, right? The program can't be wrong. If you have written the program correctly, it will execute it correctly, right? There are no options, right? There might be edge cases. If you're a programmer, you might be know it, but yeah, if the program is 100% correct, right, then it will execute it properly. There is no chances of mistakes, right? So we will talk about it in our future slides as well, right? So what is decentralized finance now, right? So decentralized finance is basically giving rise to a finance, new kind of finance where the finance is not controlled by a single organization but by smart contracts, right? So all the things that you do with traditional finances like lending, borrowing, and all that stuff, all that stuff will be now happening on the blockchain, right? So that will be controlled by smart contracts that we write. There will be some logic. you can write that, and then it will be controlled by the Ethereum, like not by the Ethereum, basically by the blockchain. Ethereum is a single blockchain, and there are several other blockchains in the market as well. So Ethereum is something that gave rise to smart contracts first, like it was the first blockchain which was programmable. So right, so it gave rise to the Web3 world. But right now also there are some other blockchains that you can explore, layer 1, layer 2s, right? We will not go deep inside that. The topic is DeFi, so we will stick to that, right? So this is what in simple terms decentralized finance is, right? Composable protocols become money legos, allowing stackable financial products. So there will be financial products, different financial products, that will not be controlled by an organization, and you can actually interact with these protocols with your smart contracts, your wallet, right? So there is a wallet, if you're not aware of, like if you're a little bit knowledge of crypto, then in the Web3 world, in the crypto world, we have wallets, right? We use these wallets to interact with these protocols, right? And in this case, your account is basically an address, right? And that address is not known by anyone, right? That address is anonymous until and unless you reveal that this is your address. If you don't reveal it that this is my address, nobody's going to know it, right? We will discuss more about it, like how this address works. And yeah, okay, so why DeFi? Like what's the need for DeFi? Okay, we look into that as well. So let's compare our centralized finance with the decentralized finance, right? So traditional finance, the centralized finance, is permission, like it is built on top of centralized databases that I've told you, like all these approval and agreement for third party, right? All that stuff is based on a central identity. It's just connected with a central authority. But the decentralized finance is permissionless, and also it is an open source system as well, right? So open source, if you don't know what is open source is basically when the code is actually present on the internet itself, and you can actually look into the code, what it says and what it does, right? So on decentralized finance, the main thing is that the code is open source, right? So you don't need to worry about what the logic is. If you want to, like, if you're using, suppose you're using a protocol, and if you just want to do a background research of how this protocol works, then the smart contract, the code, will be actually present on the internet itself. So you can go and you can check the code, if what that code is doing, right? So that gives you a level of transparency, right? So you can actually check what will this code do, because once you, maybe everyone don't understands the code, but there is a level of transparency, permissionless. Basically this DeFi system is a permissionless system and provides transparency, right? And it's not built on a centralized database, right? It's all decentralized. And also it's the non-custodian custodian, so all your assets are being controlled by third parties. So right now, if you have money and if you submit it to the bank account, right, then your money is controlled by these third parties, rather than you being the owner of your money and controlling itself, right? So right now you are not the owner of your money, right? All your money is controlled by a third party. But in decentralized finance, you will be the owner of your own money. No single third party will have any authority to go through that, right? You are the owner. If you want, you can only do that transaction, nobody else can. Okay. And centralized trust and governance, definitely, if you are using traditional finances, you have to trust these third party organizations, right? Whoever ruling it. But in the decentralized finance, it's all trustless. You don't have to trust a single entity, single admin, or anyone else. Code is the law here, so you just have to trust the code. Okay. And again, in the traditional finance, you will have to show every real identity you have. I mean, this system is, I guess, little bit of terrible, because every time you want to do anything, you have to show your identity. Every card, you need this document, and then still also takes a ton of time to do stuff with the centralized finance. But in decentralized finance, it's not the case. It's easy, right? Also, I guess, one thing that people don't say, it comes with responsibility, because decentralized finance is little bit not safe in terms of user experience. The user experience is not very much safe, because in decentralized finance you have to you are the owner of your money, right? So with ownerships comes responsibility, right? So you also have to take care, and basically you are responsible for your own money. In maybe in suppose for example in the bank account you lost your password, then you can actually go to bank account and you can tell them, hey, I lost my bank account password, I lost my card, so please block my card. But in decentralized finance that is not the case. If you lose your key, your private key, then all your money will be gone, right? So that's a terrible thing. There are solutions that are coming into the market, like for example account abstraction is trying to solve this problem and give users a better experience to onboard next billion users to decentralized finance. I've already created a crash course on account abstraction. You can go and check it out. It's on live on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I mean, decentralized finance again coming. It's pseudo anonymous. You don't have to provide any real identities. You just have to download a wallet from the internet, and you just have to create account. No id required, no email required, nothing is required. Okay, that's simple as that, what decentralized finance is and what are the difference between them, right? So in the DeFi, like almost 50 billion dollars of money is logged as of April 2023. I guess this number was very high in the last bull market. I don't know, I mean, more than $100 billion it was, but due to this bear market it's definitely less. But I'm pretty sure that this number is going to increase very well, and very high in the next bull market whenever it comes, right? But right now $50 billion are logged in the DeFi space, and people are using it, people are investing their money to the traditional finance, because people are losing faith in the centralized finance system. You know how the things are going. I mean, the things in our country are good, but in the country like in US, the banks are collapsing. So if you have heard of recent, 2 3 banks collapsed in US, right? And that's terrible. Why? Because what is happening is what happened even during the COVID as well. These government organization, without asking anyone, they can print all the money, right? So they are printing it, and uh, when they print it, they just keep printing it, and this gives rise to inflation and all that stuff. We will not go deep into what's going on, but that's terrible. And these government, people are losing faith in these governments. Banks are bankruptcy, right? They're filing for bankruptcy, and stuff is going on. So people are shifting towards from decentralized finance to using traditional finance. Okay. um, and there are several other protocols that are live in the market, like for example Uniswap. So in the last slide there was Lido Finance. So Lido Finance was actually one of the most famous and most total logged value in the Lido Finance. So you can check out all these protocols. You will not go through each and every protocol, how that works, how it don't works, because it will take a lot of time. But I can tell you the best way to get involved is to try out yourself. So go to internet, search MetaMask wallet, and then just download that wallet, and you will learn yourself what things are going on. Don't directly deal with the original money. Deal with some fake money. We call it testnet, we call it faucet in the Web3 in the technical language. So just go and deal with that rather than actually exploring these exploring the mainnet. Just try with the faucet, the fake token, and use that and learn more about it. So the best way is to get involved with it, right? So now let's discuss some words that you might have heard of, right? And some of the words are one of the word is stablecoin. Okay. So all this cryptocurrency in the market, Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? These are volatile, right? Volatile means that the price of these assets, these currencies are not fixed. One day the price may be $10,000, and the other day it can go to $15,000, right? It's possible, right? So that is a problem, right? So why? Because for example, you have some Bitcoin. You want to you just went to the market one day and you asked for few fruits. So for example, you might get 4 apples on the day one, right? But when you go to day two, the price of Bitcoin has been increased, so you get like 10 apples for one Bitcoin, and then you will be like, hey, this is not fair. Yesterday I bought the apple, I got just 5 apple, and the other person got 10 apple the next day for the same amount of Bitcoin, right? So that's terrible. And that's what the problem is, and that's what the thing is, that you can't use these cryptocurrencies as a mode of exchange, as a medium of exchange, right? So that's a problem with these currencies. That's why there was an introduction to stable coins, right? So what are stable coins? Stable coins are basically cryptocurrencies who have stable values. Means these, the value of these tokens do not vary a lot. I mean, they are not volatile. It's fixed, right? There might be a little changes, like 0.00001, 0.001, right? Whatever it is. But yeah, it is a very less amount of changes in that. And most of the time, these coins are stable. That is, they don't, they're not as volatile as our cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other stuff. Okay, so that's why we use in the financial system as well. Like, if you are, as I said, like, if you want to use, because money, if you want to use it as a video, right, as a mode of transfer, then you can, you want it to be stable, you want it to be good, right? So that's why the problem was solved with stable coin. The stable coin was introduced into the market, and stable coin aimed to reduce the price volatility. And also it was some, not most of the stable coins, but not every stable coin, but most of the stable coins are pegged with USD. That is $1 USD is equals to $1 of the stable coin, such as USDT, USDC, right? So USDT is a stable coin, USDC is a stable coin, and DAI. So all these tokens are pegged with USD, which means that $1 of this USDT currency is equal to $1, whatever the price is, right? So that's why it is backed by them, right? And there are different kind of stable coins that are present on the right. So you can explore that. There are some collateral, fiat collateralized stable coin which are backed by fiat currency, and then there are crypto collateralized stable coins like DAI, and then there are some there's four types of them. You can check out. I will talk about more about in the next slide. But yeah, there are different types of stable coins that you can check out. Every stable coin has some advantages, has some disadvantages. So you can read more about it. But the main focus of stable coins was that we need a proper value, a stable value, a stable cryptocurrency in a decentralized way that is actually not very much volatile, and we can use it in our day-to-day system, right? So that's what the goal of stablecoin was. And when I say it is backed or it is collateralized by US dollar, it means that, so if you understand by financial system, let me go through the history as well. So our financial system, basically our currency, was once backed by gold, right? So which means that all your money that you have, the government is claiming that whatever the currency is in the market, they have the same amount of gold stored in their locker, right? So if suppose you have 100 rupees, you can go to the government and you can say that, hey, I have this 100 rupees, please give me my 100 rupees of gold, right? So that was the plan, that was the case beforehand. But after some times, there was I don't know what the government thought, but there was a transition that that the currency will not be backed by gold anymore, which gives the organization the right to print all the money without being backed by anyone. So you don't have to keep the same amount of gold to print the money. Organizations, the governments, can print unlimited amount of money no matter what. You don't have to be backed by anything, backed by gold, because the rule that you need to keep the same amount of reserved gold in the bank account, in the locker, that was removed. So now the government can print whatever amount of money they want, how much they want, right? So yeah, that was the case. And when I say this USDT, like these cryptocurrencies, these stable coins are backed by that currency, which means that this stable coins, like for example in case of USDT, it is backed by a dollar, which means the organization like Tether, in this case Tether organization, is claiming that they have the same amount of Tether issued in the market, the same amount of Tether they have also in their bank account as well. Okay, that is the case. And in case of crypto collateralized stablecoin like DAI, all that money is collateralized by crypto. So these, the MakerDAO that we will talk about in the future, they are claiming that they have the same amount of crypto in their contract, right? So we will talk about it. Let's not go deep into stuff. It's just an introductory session. Okay. So MakerDAO is basically it's basically a DAO that controls the organization, basically the minting and all that stuff of DAI. Basically, it's a DAO. DAO, if I explain it to you, it is a decentralized autonomous organization, right? So right now we have the centralized organization that takes all the decision, but in the Web3 world, in the blockchain world, we have DAO, that is decentralized autonomous organization. Basically, these are some group of peoples, who have been part of this organization, and the rules can be different. Maybe you should hold an NFT, maybe you are an early user or whatever it is, you can join these DAO, and then you can actually get involved in the governance decision of these protocols. Okay, so for example, MakerDAO's protocol is like they issue stable coins named DAI, right? So you can get this MakerDAO is basically the governance that controls the governance of that, right? So a stable coin DAI, it can be minted by anyone through locking up their crypto as a collateral, right? So DAI is a decentralized and crypto collateralized stable coin. So for example, if someone wants to mint some stable coin, then what they have to do is they have to go to MakerDAO's contract, they have to give some amount of Ethereum to the contract, to the smart contract, that is the code that we just talked about, right? So you have to give some amount of cryptocurrency to the contract, and this contract is going to release whatever the collateralization ratio is. They're going to release the same amount of stable coins that you can use. So you can choose the amount, like what amount you want based on the collateralization ratio. I will not go deep into that, right? But yeah, you basically, just the thing is that you have to submit, someone who wants DAI stable coin, they have to submit their cryptocurrency to the smart contract, and this smart contract will be able to release some DAI token, right? So this is how the decentralized token works, and this is what MakerDAO is. I wanted to talk about MakerDAO because it's one of the famous protocol out there, and if you don't understand this, if you are a beginner, and if you're if you're hearing the name of MakerDAO for the first time, I would definitely ask you to go and Google these protocols that we are talking about, and just do your own research. The best way is to learn by doing your own research, right? Because the knowledge is so much. And talking about knowledge, I am here to help you. So if you want to learn more about stable coins, I have created this whole crash course on stable coins, like how actually the stable coins works, right? What are different types of stable coins in the market? So if you are interested, you can go through that as well. Or I'm not here to promote myself, you can also go and read some other blogs as well. So just go. The main point is that you have to go and understand how actually the DeFi protocols work. You are someone that has time, and I really want people to actually understand how these things works, because once you don't understand how things works, you will be some other person that is influencing people without having a good knowledge, and just telling people to just buy this bitcoin and do this. But once you have this knowledge of how the system works, you will be able to get involved with it, you will be able to make good money with it, and you will be able to contribute to this ecosystem, right? So this ecosystem is basically, imagine you are building the finance system with scratch, right? With scratch, right? You're building it from scratch, and this is amazing opportunity to get involved with, and even to use these new protocols. People get some airdrops. Airdrop is like money that you get to it basically as an incentivized model, so that you can use the product before it is live. So right, so all your money, all your hard work basically will not go in vain. If you try these protocols early on, you will get an airdrop as well. Right, so you can learn about that as well. Okay, cool. Next slide. Okay, cool. Lending and borrowing in DeFi. So lending and borrowing in our traditional finance is system, in our traditional finance system is the same, I guess. The meaning is same, that you can lend and borrow money in the DeFi. So in the traditional finance, if you want to lend and borrow money, you might have to submit a collateral, right, to get the money. If you want an loan, you might have to submit your property, some kind of property, that so that you can get a loan. And if you are unable to repay the loan, the government can sell those assets uh, with the contract, and there is all the contract, right? And again, in the decentralized finance as well, the lending and borrowing is possible, right? And these lending and borrowing in the decentralized finance can be, will be done from smart contracts. So smart contracts, as I said, it is a code that is being deployed on the blockchain, and this code will control all the logic behind what is going on in the front end, right? So this is how the lending and borrowing is going to work, right? And there are different several platforms in the market, like Compound and Aave. These are like lending and borrowing protocols, simple, that you can explore. I guess if you are a beginner, you might get some trouble while exploring this, because there might be some things that you might not be aware of that. But after a few times, once you have good knowledge, I would definitely explore, I mean, tell you that to explore and directly, interact with these accounts. And even you can make your own lending and borrowing protocol. So if you are a developer and if you want to build a lending and borrowing protocols, you can do that, right? So just go to these platforms, right? Aave, DYDX, Compound. You can actually check their code, right? So that's what the beauty of decentralized finance is, that all the code that is controlling these protocols is open source. So you can go and check that code, and you can learn from it, and you can create your own lending and borrowing protocol, right? And you can deploy it on the blockchain, and people can use it. Okay, it's not as easy as it sounds, but the best way is to go and explore these protocols and check out their smart contracts and learn from it as a developer, right? So you can do stuff. You can create your own decentralized applications, decentralized finance applications, right? And in decentralized finance, lending and borrowing protocols, like all this is done on crypto. So you provide collateral in the form of crypto only to borrow the funds, right? So all these things are happening with cryptocurrencies, right? And these stable coins are adding a value to the things, because for example, you don't want your loan to be in Bitcoin or Ethereum, because it is, as I said, it is very very volatile. So it might go up the next day, down the other day, right? So you don't want that. You want loan to be stable. You want your the person who is borrowing the loan, he should be able to return it with the well time. And if we use cryptocurrencies for that, then it will be a trouble. It will create chaos, right? So there are stable coins that we use, and stable coin is like one of the most important concepts of DeFi as of now. Okay, cool. DeFi facts that you should know: $45.3 billion in the DeFi market. We have just talked in the April. What was the market cap, right? So all this money is locked in the DeFi, which means that it is not a hoax. People are using it. People are putting their money in the decentralized finance. And once upon a time, it was around 100 million. Due to the bear market, it is down, but it will go up. Trust me, this is going to go up, and decentralized finance will be the future, right? And so there are some different facts as well that you can check it out. We'll not go through everywhere, but the India one, like India receives the highest DeFi exchange in the South and the Central Asia in 2022, right? So India is like a booming thing for this new technology. Every other smart contract developer is from India. People are exploring this tech, people are loving this, and people are doing transaction. Even if you're not a developer, you have different opportunities in this space. People are using these DeFi protocols to make money and to do all this exchanges that you want, the market up and down. I'm not a trader, so I don't know much about it, but you can explore the option trading as well and other stuff if you are interested. I am not here to suggest anyone uh, to invest in such kind of cryptocurrency or do any trading, but I'm telling you that there are options that you should be aware of. It's very important for you guys to be aware and to learn what is going on in the industry and what is the new thing. That is how you will be able to be ahead of everyone else. Cool. And these are some facts that I guess I wanted to share. You can definitely check it out on screen after the presentation. I will give you these links to the slide as well, so you can check out. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about the DeFi privacy, right? So what's the privacy in the DeFi, right? So let's go through that. So blockchains with DeFi are pseudo anonymous and not anonymous. And why do we say that? I just give you an example that in the DeFi world, there are no accounts, there are no emails. You don't have to register with your email. Okay, there are just accounts that you use, that is this address, that there will be an address, right, in hexadecimal format, and you can use this address as your identity, and nobody knows what these who this address belongs to until and unless you don't reveal it. Okay, if you go to social media and if you say, hey, this is my address, then people will know it. If you don't reveal it, nobody's going to know who this address belongs to, right? So all these transactions, balances, and timestamp are public, which means that you can click on whatever transaction is happening on blockchain is public, right? Which means that if there is a transaction from A to B, it will be visible on blockchain, but nobody will know who this A and B is until unless that the person, the A and B, disclose their own identity, right? So everything is transparent, everything is public. Even if there is a move from, even if there is a move of 0.01 rupees, then also $0.01, then also this transaction will be public on blockchain and you will be able to see it. So if you know anyone's address, for example, Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, his address is public. I know it is, I guess, vitalik.eth maybe, right? So you can check what the transaction have been done from the particular address, from that particular person who this address belongs to. You can go to Etherscan. Etherscan is basically a website to check the transactions that is happening on chain. There are several others, but yeah, Etherscan is one of them. So Ethereum blockchain, if there is any transaction happening on that, everything will be visible on the Etherscan website. So you can check that out, right? And see the many super wealthy DeFi accounts for yourself. Again, if you know, or I mean, since everything is public, you will be able to know what address has the most amount of Ethereum in the world. So you can check out that. It's all just fun games, and there are some channels on Twitter that keep following these accounts, and they keep posting that this transaction happened, this transaction happened. So it's a cool world, and everything is open source, everything is transparent. That's why I love it. Like, it's transparent, and even all your identities are still safe, right? So it's I guess one of the most important inventions in the past history, in the recent history. So you should not you should not miss this opportunity, and you should definitely explore it. Okay, let's move on to our next slide. So I guess that's what all about decentralized finance. There is a lot to cover, but this was a very small session, and I just wanted to introduce you guys to this new finance system. That's what the main motive behind this presentation was, and this is the beginning of the end. I found this good meme on Twitter. So this decentralized finance, I'm not saying that that DeFi is going to replace the traditional finance, but it will be an addition to that, and you don't have to trust to the bank accounts, or maybe a centralization authority if you don't like. Some people like to trust the organization, but some people don't. So if you don't want to trust this organization, there is a new way for you, new technology for you to use, which is in a decentralized format, no single authority controlling it. And yeah, that's what the traditional finance is. If you don't trust me, go and Google it. It is booming, people are getting into it, and you should not miss the chance. And even if you are a developer, you should start creating and learning about it, right? And you can start creating your own applications on the blockchains. This is a high time. It's still, I guess, the beginning of the things, right? We are still little ahead of the starting, but we are still yet to get very good technical and good technical applications on the top of the DeFi system. So if you have any idea, start learning from smart contracts, explore these protocols, visit these protocols, explore their smart contracts, learn about different concepts. There are a lot of things to learn. Even I'm not, there's so much to learn that every day I also have to do my research, and every day, because there is a new protocol, there is a new buzzword. So every day you have to keep aware of yourself. You have to learn things. So that's how I guess you can get involved. Just go and start exploring and learning about these things. Just choose a topic, and then from that topic choose another topic, master it, and this is how you will become a great DeFi degen. We call person as a DeFi degen who has good knowledge in the DeFi space. So that's what this session was all about, an introduction to DeFi. I hope this was useful, and you can if you have any doubts, you can hit me after this slide. And also, if you are unable to ask any doubts, you can reach out to me on Twitter and LinkedIn. That's my Twitter handle in the next slide. Cool. Okay, yeah. So that's my Twitter handle. That's my LinkedIn. If you have any doubt after this session as well, you can reach out to me. And we say Vagmi. Vagmi here is for we are gonna make it. So this is basically a word we use it in the Web3 space. We are gonna make it. We will take this decentralized finance system, or this decentralized system Web3 world ahead. And yeah, we will at the end we will make it. So cool. Any questions? Let me know. Hey, hi Sushan. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Uttam, for your valuable insights onto how DeFi works and different aspects of it. I'm sure a lot of us will find it really useful and will push us into exploring more into the details of DeFi and development and etc. Now, there are quite a few interesting questions, so let me pick as many as possible. So,
Yeah, I mean,
starting
we
with the thing.
can take two, three.
Okay, two, three. All right. So yeah, I'll just try to pick something which was not specifically covered, maybe. So
Mhm.
yeah, Tavish wants to ask, what is liquidity risk in DeFi?
I mean, so first of all, who don't know liquidity, whenever people are talking about liquidity, then it basically means the money, right? So I guess liquidity risk, talking about that, I am again not a good finance guy to talk about these things, but I guess there definitely are risk involved with DeFi system, not just liquidity risk. There are some other risk as well that have been involved with the DeFi ecosystem. As we see, like every day, there is a hack in like around 6 months, past 3 months, past 6 months. There have been a lot of hacks, and it's the everyday problem that we see in the decentralized finance, because since everything is transparent, right? So these protocols, these hackers can explore the vulnerabilities in these smart contracts, and they can take all your money out of that. Yeah, it's possible, right? So I guess it's not safe as of now. There are definitely risks involved with the DeFi, the whole DeFi ecosystem, but we are improving, and we are improve, and that's how things work. Once there is a new technology in the market, right? There are going to be hacks, there are going to be things, but bad things that will happen. But in the future, I guess it will be better as we move ahead, as we will have more people working in this space, more great developers. And trust me, the developers working in this space are like very very great and very very secure, and we are progressing towards a good and safe DeFi ecosystem. So yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. So I think, yeah, this is quite relevant question, especially when it comes to India. So Mudit wants to ask, how do you see the relationship between DeFi and regulatory bodies evolving in the coming years, and what steps are being taken to address these concerns?
Okay, yeah. So this again, I mean, I don't want to make any controversial statements, but there have been. I mean, government are taking crypto as a good thing. I mean, they know that they can't control the cryptocurrencies, and now it's the crypto is too far that you just can't end it or you just can't ban it, right? So authorities are taking care of these crypto assets, and they're trying to come up with rules and regulations. And I guess that is good, because once there is a thing and that is being populated and being used by the people, there should be regulations. Definitely it's important, right? So that there is no wrong thing, wrong use case of these technologies, right? So, and people often say that, hey, this cryptocurrency you're using, it is a good way for terrorists to use. But I guess every technology comes with own disinfects, disadvantages. As people are saying AI is coming, it's going to take jobs, then yeah, it has disadvantages. I mean, not going to take all your job, but it might replace some of your jobs. But does that means it will not come? It will come, right? You just can't stop it. And how much useful AI technologies will be, right? This is also one of the case, right? So coming back to the questions, the government are learning about it. They are creating good regulations around it. I guess in the future time we will see good regulations. I don't know whether that people will be happy with these regulations, uh, or not, because recently there was like 30% tax on the crypto profit. So people were very pissed off with that you have to pay 30% tax on all your profit. So that was terrible. But yeah, let's see. And we will I can't comment much on that. The most of the things depends on these organization, how they take crypto and how they feel if they can regulate it. So just what we can do is just wait for the decision.
Yeah. Moving on. So, yeah, Pranit wants to ask, other than USD, what can stablecoins be pegged to? Or yeah, maybe they just want to know like what is the logic behind pegging into
Yeah,
certain.
you can depeg your cryptocurrency to any other cryptocurrency. Maybe euro, you can also do that. There are, if I'm not wrong, there are cryptocurrencies that are pegged with euro, so you can do that. And so as I taught you, right, there are four types of cryptocurrencies. Fiat collateralized cryptocurrencies that are pegged by fiat currencies like USD, euro, or maybe an INR. I don't There is no as such stable coin that is backed by INR, but there are, right. So there are four types of that I talked about: fiat based, that can be backed by pegged by USD or euro. You can do that. And there are definitely a stable coin that I've heard of that is backed with euro. And then there is crypto collateralized stable coin, which are collateralized with cryptocurrencies, right, that is backed by cryptocurrencies. And there are asset based one that is backed by gold and that is backed by silver, right. So you can actually back your stable coin with gold and silver, as our currencies used to be. And the third one was algorithmic and non collateralized stable coin that are not backed by anyone. And these like the last one, the algorithmic stable coins, are little tricky, because if you're active on the news and if you're hearing of what happened to Luna, it was a stable coin, algorithmic stable coin basically, and it failed terribly. So algorithmic stable coins has yet to prove themselves. I will not go deep into discussing about it. If you want to learn about stable coins more, you can check out my crash course, and you can also question me. You can ask questions later on the Twitter. So that's what the answer of the question is. You can peg with other cryptocurrencies as well, like other currencies as well, like euro. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I think one final question,
Yeah.
Naman and also Shambhavi have asked. So I think they just want to know, like, how do DeFi applications work? Like, what are the integral components of a DeFi application that define a DeFi app?
Mhm. Okay, so DeFi applications. So mostly how this works on the front end side, there will be a wallet that you have to integrate, right? So basically, this wallet is how your user is going to, participate or use your protocol. So he can use any wallet that is present in the market. He just have to create an account, and then so suppose in like our normal applications, how we connect with that applications, you have to log in, right? So you have to use your id, you use your email id and your password, then you have to create an account and do stuff, right? So similarly here as well, there are wallets. So there, when you go to a DeFi application, there will be a button called Connect Wallet. So when you click on that, your button, like your wallet, will be open, and then you will have to sign the transaction. You will basically have to give the permission to the smart contracts to do, transfer, and you do stuff with your account, right? So you have to approve the tokens, you have to give the allowances, and then you have to sign a transaction and do stuff. So this is all happening on the front end side. On the backend side, as I said, there are smart contracts that we have talked about. So these smart contracts are written, and then you integrate these smart contracts with your front end applications with libraries like Ether.js and Web3.js that you can check out, right? So you just click on these buttons. So for example, for a user, there will be a button called swap, right? So you will just click to that swap button, and in the background, the smart contracts will be called from your account itself, and then the swap is going to happen backend side, and then in the front end side, you are going to see your result in your wallets or in that application, right? So your money is traveling with you, right? This is the case. Like your wallet is the point that have all the basically your private key, which using which you will sign the transaction, and using where like the wallet has all the assets, right? So your assets will travel with you with every new protocol that you use, right? So this is not locked in any single protocol. So you can explore and learn, basically use different wallets with the same different protocols with the same wallet. So you can go to different protocols, connect your wallet, and do transaction. You will click on swap. In the backend side, the smart contract function will be called, and your funds will be swapped with whatever you are swapping with, right? So this is how the simple things work, and there are some other complex protocols that you can learn more about. I will not go deep. I hope that answers your question. If there is specific question, let me
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that does give a nice overview on how DeFi apps work. So, just a follow up for that, Prajesh wants to ask, with the increasing popularity of DeFi applications, what are your thoughts on the scalability and security challenges that need to be addressed so to ensure that in the long term the adoption of DeFi succeeds? So, main thing like
Yeah.
scalability and security issues.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, these are the main problems. I agree. Scalability is the problem. Recently, so basically, you go to a mall for shopping, and then so it's basically like you go to a mall for a shopping, and you instead paid like $1,000 for just your parking. So that's bad. You don't want to do that, right? So scalability is definitely a problem, and for that there are solutions. There are L1s and some other L2s on top of Ethereum as well that are trying to solve this scalability problem. So if you are someone who is worrying about, definitely, everyone is worried about spending their money. So you can use these L1 blockchains and layer 2's blockchain that are basically there to solve the problem of scalability, specifically the layer 2's, right? So you can solve these problems. And recently, the whole focus of the Ethereum community is working on the scalability and the merge and all that stuff. Talking about Ethereum ecosystem, so all the code apps are busy with solving the scalability problems. And recently there was an EIP that was passed on that will support the layer 2's, basically the roll-ups, right? So to scale the Ethereum network. So we are working towards it. And on the security side as well, uh, obviously there will be hacks in future also. I guess you will see more hacks in the future upcoming sessions in the upcoming time, but you will have to give some time, right? After few years, maybe there will be good basically principles around security. And whenever there is a new applications, there are auditing that happens. So every smart contracts that is deployed have to be audited. I mean, definitely depends on the developer, so it should be audited matlab to be tested before it goes to the mainnet, right? So there are auditing that happens with every smart contracts, and there are chances that yes, these auditing auditing companies misses some of the vulnerabilities that have been exploited later on. But I guess we will have to wait, because every time there is a new technology, fuck up happens. So you just have to wait and trust in this technology. People are trusting it, and one of the advice that I would give is that always use protocols that are legitimate and that have been used in past before by good and have good reputation. Don't go with the money. Like, there are new protocols, what they do is basically they provide a good amount of APY, like 20%, 15%, just for using their protocols, and in future that results in the loss of the assets, loss of the money of users. So don't get involved in these protocols. Just try to use the legitimate products that you have, that you see have good background, that have open source contracts. Try to check the contracts if you are a developer. And yeah, so people are working on scalability, and security is definitely very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that answers some of the important questions asked by our audience. So this brings
Cool.
us to the end of our session. Thank you so much, Uttam, for uh, giving us such valuable insights and having taking your time and putting your efforts to our session. And also
Mhm.
thank you to all the viewers for actively participating. And yeah, if any of y'all have any other doubts, y'all can reach out to Uttam on his social handles, which he shared. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Sushan. And if you have any questions, anyone, just please feel free to ping me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and happy to help you. Okay, thank you so much, Sushan, and the team for inviting me, and you know, helping me
Yeah,
spreading the knowledge for DeFi and Web3. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.
yeah, bye.